Well, good morning. As you can see, I'm sat in the car. As you can see behind me, I've got the dog with me again. I've come down to Dungeness, out on the coast here of South Kent. Unfortunately, when I left home, it was nice and dry and warm, relatively warm. Unfortunately, I've got down here and it's absolutely hissing down with rain, and it's windy, and it's not conducive to what I hoped to get. What I came down for here was actually to hopefully catch a bit of a sunrise over the coast and do a little bit of minimalist photography along the edge of the actual shoreline here, with the little boats and the wooden working boats and various bits and pieces as information in the pictures, or sort of objects in the frames. But I'm afraid that's not going to happen now, which is a great shame, because I've just driven 35 miles to get here. I was a bit pessimistic driving down, especially seeing the weather through the front windscreen the further I got towards here, but now I'm here. I don't know if you can even hear it, but there is definitely wind blowing. I can hear the foghorn sounding from the lighthouse behind where you are. I can even see the light spreading out into the distance from the lighthouse. It's that misty at the moment. So I'll probably sit here for half an hour and see if things change. It's a bit grey and it's a bit gloomy, and I don't think it's going to change, but I might as well just sit it out and let the dog have a little bit of a run round first, and see if we get anything at all from here, apart from a wet lens and a wet me. And again, I've come out without the right coat on. This is the coat that isn't waterproof. I left the other one at home. I should have put it in the car anyway, but hey ho. There we are, sunny Dungeness. And into the distance, let's just open the window and let you see out. And it's 6:30 in the morning. The sun isn't up, but even if it were, there's no way you'd see it because it's absolutely thick cloud. Actually, looking up, if I put my optimistic hat on, I'd say this cloud isn't really very thick, and it might just clear if the wind blows it away a little bit more. I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of colour in the sky, but nothing of any merit, certainly nothing worth really spending much time waiting for. But I'm going to wait, and we'll see if we do get to anything at all. Oh dear, 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 dear. Well, it did stop raining for a short period of time, and I walked out along the little boardwalk, which you can just see heading off in the distance over there to the end, where you can see that little chair in the distance, hopefully, and set up there and pointed back at the lighthouse here. And the clouds are quite foreboding, and I think I've got a half decent shot. What I did was, I probably have to voice over what I did. I did take some shots of some B-roll with this little DJI Pocket, but the sound quality probably is crap, so I'll probably have to voice over that. But I did show the shot that I was setting up, and I think it worked really quite well, because I was using the little chair that's in the distance over there at the end of the boardwalk on the pebbles as the foreground, and the boardwalk leading off into the distance, and then the lighthouse sticking up. And I think it looked quite a nice shot, and especially with the really moody sky that we've got, and a little bit of colour came into the sky as well. A little bit of pink came into it as the sun was low in the horizon. And I'm going to go home and process that. I had some really serious problems with vibration, even with the big Sirui Tripod. I chimped in on a couple of shots that were taken at relatively short shutter speeds of about 1/4 of a second, and I had movement in them, so I had to wind the ISO up quite a bit to actually manage to get a slow enough or fast enough shutter speed to stop any movement happening, because the wind was really buffeting the old tripod, and I was bracing it and trying to protect it from the wind as much as I could, but I took about 15 shots, and I think I did chimp and find a couple that were actually quite presentable. So I'm hoping for big things from those. It's not turned out as I expected. Even the dog wasn't very happy to be out, it was that windy. So I'll go home and we'll process those, and let's see what we got from today, if anything. And I hope you enjoyed this little video. It's not been quite as planned, but as I always say, if you don't go out and do something, you don't know what you're going to find. So I'm quite pleased I got that one image. I'm hoping it's going to work. Well, I made it out. The wind's very strong, but we do appear to have no rain. The clouds have blown the rain away, or the wind has blown the rain away. It's still quite cloudy, but I'm not sure. The sun's probably been up about 20 minutes, half an hour now, and it's really quite windy. As you can see, the amount this is being blown around. But if I spin you round, the wind noise will take over, I'm sure. The microphone's peaking out with the amount of wind noise. Absolutely amazing. But I'm not very sure I'm going to get any shots here. There you can see the little lighthouse that I was referring to. And the clouds are really quite prominent. I think there might be a half decent shot of the lighthouse with these clouds, but I might set up for that. But otherwise I'll have to do a voiceover when I get home, because this wind is barbaric. It must be gusting to about 25, 30, 35 miles an hour. As we can see down here, there's the video camera all set up. I've done a few pulls and pushes and bits and pieces. There are some mad people here fishing somewhere. As you can see here we have some little huts with people or tents, and they're angling, I think. Must be mad in this wind, but anyway, they are. So let's see if I can get a shot at least of the lighthouse. There is a bit of orange in the sky. Don't know if you can really see it, but there is actually some colour in the sky. Let's see if we can get a shot anyway while I'm here. Well, I have no way of knowing if you're going to hear any of this, so I might have to voice this over, but this little shot took my fancy here, because what we've got is a foreboding sky here. We've got this little boardwalk and this little chair in commemoration of some lady called Christine, who obviously used to like sitting here. And then in the distance we've got the lighthouse, and I think that's quite a nice framing, especially with this really foreboding sky. So I'm going to get that shot. I'm at 10th of a second f13. I'm going to take that. And it's as windy as hell here, so you probably can't hear any of this. Can't hear any of it. The microphone's maxing out from the wind noise. There is actually a little bit of sky starting to happen now, which is quite pleasing. I might wait for that to creep over the top of the lighthouse and then take a second shot. But this is stunning. This lighting is really very good. So I'll just spin you round against the wind, and you can see the bleakness that is Dungeness, or Dungeness. I always call it Dungeness. It isn't, it's Dungeness. Well, that wasn't a complete loss, because I actually stopped on the way coming out of Dungeness, and I noticed one of the wooden boats on the foreshore and the little old dilapidated railway line leading up to it, and I thought, yeah, the sky is quite interesting again. It's quite foreboding. It's not raining, so I stopped and I took the pictures that I'm about to show you, and the video that I'm about to show you. I couldn't vlog it again for much the same reasons. The wind was just brutal, and I had to take a lot of shots to even get some that were actually in focus properly, because the vibration on the tripod was just proving to be a little bit too much. So home now, back, bit of breakfast, bit of tea, bit of processing, day's work for the company, and then pull this video together. Hopefully by this evening we'll have something to show for it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, and click the notification icon and the bell, and you'll be able to be notified when I upload new videos.